There are a wide variety of reasons that it's important to practice veggie cuts in your kitchen. And there are a couple of things to keep in mind that'll make things so easy for you and you will get straight into your recipes. Number one is you want to make sure that you have a nice clean cutting board, cutting surface. Here at the Academy, we actually have a little bit of a sticky mat that we put down underneath it to secure our board if you're not comfortable with your surface. Think of that. If you don't have a sticky mat, you could use a wet paper towel. Next, you'll need a chef's knife and make sure it's a sharp one. Now for these cuts, you can literally use almost any vegetable or fruit to practice, but what I like to use are carrots. Why? Because they are so readily available around the world. Number one. Number two, they're quite inexpensive and they're firm, they're hard, so they stand up to the cutting, and then you can use them in so many other ways after you practice your cuts. And last but not least, I do encourage you to have a ruler or a tape measure so that you can measure all of your cuts to make them uniform. There are a couple of reasons we want to make our cuts uniform. They do cook uniformly when we're heating them, baking them, using them in soups and stews, so that they're all the same doneness, so that you don't have a raw piece of carrot and then a cooked one. Also, they look pleasant, so on the plate, if things are all different sizes, kind of looks like someone did it with their eyes closed, so it looks more presentable and more professional when they're all uniform sizes. So in order to make a brunoise cut, we're going to first start off with a julienne cut. And what I like to do with the carrots is you want to always secure your hand and make sure that you're not going to cut off your fingers or fingernails. So I like to cut down on one side of the carrot or whatever vegetable you have and then flatten it. And that way it's not rolling around. It is then secure. And then I'm going to come back. I like to hold it on the sides and then cut down and then cut off the other one. We're going to be making julienne first, and then we're going to be making our brunoise. This is about 3 millimeters thick, 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters long. And then just to come back. Make our julienne. And then, so these are our julienne matchsticks. Beautiful. So we call them matchsticks because they look like old time matches. So there's the julienne. And we turn the julienne, and then we make our brunoise. Now, small dice is a little bit bigger. It's about 6 millimeters. So for the rondelles, you want to just gently take off the skin. A big mistake a lot of students make is they take off too much skin and then their rondelles look squared off. You want to do it just as gently as possible to keep your carrots round so they don't look too choppy. And then you want to, in a gentle sawing motion, you don't ever want to let the tip of your knife leave the board. You can cut them into coins as thin or as thick as you like. Now for the tomato concasse, some people do like to use a serrated knife depending upon your tomato. I'm going to show you both ways. Sometimes People like to leave the skin on and the seeds in. Some chefs do, other chefs like to completely take it off. So I'm going to take off the skin here with this first one to just gently remove the skin. Once again, if you have a sharp knife, you can work with the tomato, but some people don't sharpen their knives. It's important to do so all the time. You're going to have less times cutting yourself in the kitchen with a sharp knife, I promise you. So to seed it, you can just de-seed it there, and then now I'm going to come back, and now you're chopping your tomato in the same way. It's like a brunoise or a small dice. We remove the seeds oftentimes when we don't want our dish to be too watery, although the seeds have a lot of flavor in them. So once again, it depends upon how you like to do it. Depends upon your dish. Sometimes I take them out, other times not. Do it, as I mentioned, you can leave the skin on. Try your serrated knife. So here for my chiffonade, I'm just going to be using some parsley leaves. I'm going to have them be nice, and then we'll roll this up. Now for a mince, you want to fine chop your item. Think of garlic. It's probably one of the most common things that we'll call for as a mince in a recipe. So it's even finer than the brunoise. So you just want to, of course, peel your garlic. And then I like to smash it even with flat side and width. Never let the tip of your knife leave the board. There is your beautiful minced garlic.